I got a couple projects that I need to finish, and I don't know, something else came up. First, I got this Twin Hammers clone and sand scorcher. This was ready to run, and then I dug it out of storage a couple weeks ago. It had, and I wasn't thinking, I put a 3S battery in it, and it fried either the ESC or the servos, or both. I don't know, but they're toast. That needs new electronics. I got this Vanquish that I got from a buddy. He was selling good price, 300 bucks, so I bought it. It don't need nothing really. The servos for the dig and the overdrive need to be replaced, and then just slap some wheels and tires on that, and it's good to go. It needs a new body. I don't like this one. My AR-60 6x6, it needs quite a bit of work still. This was supposed to be a cheap project out of stuff I had laying around, and for the most part it was, and still is. But the drive shafts, these are MIP drive shafts. This is all off my Wraith, which is sitting in a box somewhere. MIP drive shafts are a little bit too short for this configuration, and the links, these are Vanquish or Incision, I think Vanquish, I don't know. Those links, they're okay, they're just not quite right for that middle axle. It kind of, the length of them kind of puts it, let's see here, too far of an angle, which is fine if that was the last axle, but it's the middle one, so if it's like this, the other one is like that, you know? It's hard to explain. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. But the angle of the last drive shaft is way off because these links are not the right length. And the shocks are a little bit too tall, but if I get shorter shocks, this part, which the rear links connect to, hits right on the differential, because the AR-60 is an offset axle. So I'm guessing I'll have to get some new drive shafts and make some custom links. And then, and because these drive shaft angles are kind of steep, it wants to bind up. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. I don't know. The 35 turn that was on there, it moved it, but not quite enough. So I'm gonna have to get a big brushless system, I think, maybe the Axe or something like that. Anyways, back on the back burner. And then my Creighton. The Creighton, I landed on the lip of a half pipe at a skate park, and I bent the chassis in half. I straightened out the chassis as best I could, but then shortly after that, the screws in the front and rear differentials stripped out. Like the holes that they screw into stripped out, and actually a couple of the screws sheared off. So that needs a new skid plate or chassis frame or whatever you want to call it, and 2 new differential housings, and then that one should be good to go. I don't know. I think that's all that needs to it, or all that it needs. And then the Bronco, I know that steering servo needs to be replaced, and that's about it really. Honky wagon, so I got the Flash Hobby 60 kg direct power servo and the Honky wagon, the Green Bastard, and oh, there it is, the Capra. And the honky wagon, it's doing all right. It jitters every once in a while, but not too bad. The Green Bastard, actually, it stripped out last time I used it. That one went way bad, so that one's not even usable anymore. This one with the jitters, not too bad. And the Capra, I want to say it jitters a little bit, but nothing crazy. Still usable. I'm gonna have to come up with a better servo for all of those. The Granite, I don't think this one needs any work. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. The body's getting pretty rough, but yeah. Anyways, I was just showing all that off because instead of fixing any of these projects, I decided to build a whole new truck. I'm a financial wizard like that. A buddy of mine, Josh, he sold me these GSpeed V3 rails for like 40 bucks, and the rear end had been cut off to fit a Rock Pirate's bed. So I had these rails laying around, and I figured I just got a 3D printer to let me figure some stuff out. So I printed up a skid, the sliders. These are both out of PLA. And I printed out this bed. And after lots and lots and lots of trial and error, I finished the Blacktooth Grin here. I'm a big Dimebag and Pantera fan. This originally had designed this, laid out all the stencils and everything when I started building the Green Bastard. But I didn't have a 3D printer then, so I couldn't really. I tried to fashion up some of these at a just craft store shit, and it looked like turd, so I didn't do it. I put that on the back burner, designed something else. Now I got a 3D printer, and I made this little wood crate. It's got barrels of whiskey and barrels or jugs of whiskey and all sorts of liquor. Get your pool. Oh yeah, when I say I use this to learn how to use my 3D printer, boy did it take a lot of trial and error. And I mean a lot of trial and error. That bed, it took me forever to figure out the settings for it. And to get the design right and everything, something that I liked. The skid also, which these skids are usable. A couple of bumpers. These sliders, they're good to go. So I try to make it a few different ways. I just kept breaking. Several sliders, several pieces of bed. It took a while, but I finally got it. So this is another spare parts build. Just a 35 blue servo from Amazon. Leftover 1080. 35 turn 540. It's the only 540 can I had laying around. The 550 wouldn't work. The Fusion wouldn't work. Yes, let me see. The Spectrum Firma wouldn't work because of where that link is. So it's got to be 540 or smaller. I have no idea how this truck performs yet. Oh, also I got the 3 gear with dig off Amazon. That's why I built this bed like that, so it hides underneath there. Then it's bolted in there. These are PLA Plus both the slider and the skid. And I did a couple tests. For heat wise, I left it in my truck for like 6 or 7 hours when it was like 100 something degrees outside, and no problems out of this. I did make some spacers. Those warped a little bit. This is out of PETG, and I haven't tested this out yet. I'm hoping it does all right because I put a lot of work into it. This creeper cab was actually cut up and painted for the 6x6. Since the 6x6 is on a Wraith skid, it's pretty wide, so I cut it out for these shocks just to barely fit in there on the 6x6. I didn't really like how it looked, so I had this cut up creeper cab body. So I decided to try it on this, and it is pretty hacked up. Turned out good though. I don't see it lasting very long. Like, that's not connected to anything. So when that goes, and it was yellow, and I painted it black, so when this gets all scratched up, it's going to be a little bit yellow on the inside. Well, yeah, I'm excited to see how this does. That motor I got in there is not great, so we'll see. I borrowed the Green Bastard's wheels and tires just to give it a fair shot, and everything else, I don't know, I think it looks great all chopped up like that. I think it's right. I'm pretty happy with it. This one, the stencil kind of messed up a little bit. When I was peeling it back, the tape got stuck to the wet paint. Pretty budget though. Everything I had except for the 3 gear. The transmission, oh, and I had to buy some extra drive shaft parts because I didn't have those. I already had the axles off a buddy of mine gave them to me. Had everything else, the servos, the ESC. I bought the drive shafts, the 3 gear, and I had to buy a receiver. I almost made this Uncle Jemima's mashed liquor. I had the stencils made up and everything. But once it was painted black, it didn't look right. It looked too cool this way. So the Blacktooth Grin it is. I think it looks cool. Alright, let's go get it out on the rocks, see how it does. Alright. This is the first time out for the Blacktooth Grin, other than driving it around my yard. I'm starting to think though, there's a reason why that servo was in a parts box. It's pretty weak. The motor ain't the best either. So I think some new electronics are definitely gonna have to get ordered for this thing. The servo's very weak. Oh, everything's very weak. And I got fusions and everything else. So weird to drive a brushed motor again. Guess I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with that. Maybe an outrunner that is shorter than a 540. Ooh, there it goes, first tip over. Alright, let me see some. Let me get on some more mediocre pedestrian trails. Oh man, that dig works so much better than on the Capra. It's crazy. Pretty impressed though. This one isn't, like, I compared the GSpeed, this is V3, to the YFG or YGF, whatever the thing is on the Green Bastard, the Amazon one. And this one wasn't quite as, like, an extreme angle, I guess. The skid angle's the same, but like, the shock mounts are way higher on the Amazon one. The servo just, once it gets any bit of a bind on it, just is not pulling. Well, not bad though. Some decent electronics. This thing will be all right. I'll have to look into that, like an outrunner, like that Rhino ESC and a decent outrunner. See if it'll fit in there, because anything bigger than a 540 won't work. Definitely need some shock tuning. See that? Just wants to sit back. Alright, I'm getting out of here. My battery's about to die, my GoPro and my remote radio. It's about 100 degrees outside. The 3D printed stuff is holding up just fine. I've been out here for about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. I don't know, somewhere around there. I don't know what time it is. But all that stuff's doing good. No real problems out of it, not that I can tell anyhow. This thing does need some electronics upgrades though, especially the steering servo. It's pretty bad. Other than that though, that's pretty good. Pretty happy with it. It's already starting to get scratched up, so maybe I can get a another body and do it up the right way and keep it shiny and black. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, I'm getting out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know what you think. See y'all later.